Okay. And the last thing to talk about is just the options for the shoulder. So we do replace shoulders. We've got another few options. So we generally talk about the anatomical shoulder replacement or the reverse shoulder replacement. So an anatomical shoulder replacement pretty much looks to keep the shape of the humeral head, articulate that with a plastic glenoid, but you need to have an intact cuff in order for that to work. If we don't want to do the full shoulder replacement, we can do a resurfacing or we can do a hemiarthroplasty. But again, that's a discussion to be had with the person themselves. Or we can do a reverse. And reverse is really where we are moving to as a first line option, particularly because a lot of people have cuff issues and cuff problems, in which case the anatomical shoulder won't work. But the reverse total shoulder is designed to be used in someone with a cuff problem. However, if you've got an axillary nerve paralysis, then neither of them are good because you really need to have an intact deltoid to work the reverse. So the anatomical shoulder replacement really tries to mimic the normal anatomy. It relies on an intact rotator cuff, and basically the cuff stabilizes and moves the arm. The issue really is that you're at a disadvantage if the humeral head rides upwards, because then you get a lot of pain and early failure. So this is what it looks like. Here's your humeral head replacement with the stem that goes down, and then you've got your humeral head at the back here with the pin, looking at where you are. So this is a different type, similar type idea, and this has got little fins at the back so you can tie something on. You can either repair the muscles to this, or you can tie it to another structure that's deep down. So your reverse total shoulder is your artificial joint mimics the normal joint anatomy, but the difference is, oh, sorry, that's not a reverse. That's an anatomical. But your reverse total shoulder is the other way around. So this is where you've got the ball is on the glenoid and the cup is actually on the humeral head. So what this does is this actually uses the deltoid to elevate and lower the arm rather than using the cuff. So this is the one design biomechanically that if you've got a compromise to the cuff, if you're elderly, we know that the cuff is compromised, you can then get a reverse shoulder. And if everything fails, we go to a reverse straight away. The problem is if the reverse fails, we don't have many options after that. Okay, so this is what your total shoulder looks like, your anatomical one with the ball on the humeral head and the glenoid versus the reverse, which is where the ball is on the glenoid and the glenoid component is on the shaft. So the key planes and sequences we've already been through. Essentially, the T1, T2 fat suppressed stir are our main ones, but we've also need to remember in terms of positioning, the ABER position, and if need be, the MRA. So if you come to doing a report and you need to just go through your checklist, what you're looking at is bones, marrow first, then going on to your joints, your labrum, capsule ligaments, rotator cuff muscles and tears, biceps tendon, bursae, neurovascular structures, and then you need to have an impression and a concise management orientated plan. And what I've done is I've made a little table here of the main pathologies and the key MRI features, which hopefully you'll be able to get off the presentation.